Guys, here's some election news, and I'm pretty stoked about this. Check it out. Somebody just got another dose of self-awareness. So keep in mind, Eric Swalwell was the first person. Howard Schultz, too, got a little bit of self-awareness, bailed out soon. But this guy, guess who else is gone? Check it out. John Hickenlooper is gone. Wait a second. Let me get over to the thing. Oh, is it just a video? I thought I had an article here. Oh, all right. Well, I guess we'll watch the video then. Here we go.
Shakeup in the Democratic presidential race so far. It involves a candidate.
All right.
Hickenlooper is dropping out of the race. Political exclusive news on Twitter about 2 hours ago. A source tells Sean that Hickenlooper will make the announcement tomorrow. Hickenlooper is lagging far behind the rest of the crowded Democratic field, would most likely not qualify for the next debate. He is the biggest name to end his campaign.
Big question now, will Hickenlooper run for Senate? Republican Senator Cory Gardner is up for re-election next year. Hickenlooper could join the field of Democrats hoping to unseat him. According to Sean, Hickenlooper has not made a decision yet on whether to enter that race.
Hickenlooper. First of all, by the way, calling him the biggest person to drop out of the race, that's being very generous, by the way. That's being very generous to him, referring to him as that. Like, oh, he's one of the biggest names to drop out of the race. Yeah, but after the top leaders, there's a huge drop-off. There's a huge drop-off, and he was polling at about 1 or 2%. John Hickenlooper. Man, it's ironic the person who made fun of Bernie for throwing up his arms is now throwing up his arms when it comes to his campaign. Bye-bye, John Hickenlooper. Bye-bye. Who would have thought the guy who got on the national scene when he mentioned how he watched a porn with his mom, that was his big leap into fame, talking about watching a porn with his mom. Who would have thought that guy wouldn't be able to get very far? The guy who tells you about all the things we can't have. The guy who gets booed every time he speaks. Who would have thought that guy wouldn't get very far? I did. We did. He's gone now. He's out of the race. Good. And guess what? John Hickenlooper beat John Delaney in the race to self-awareness. John Delaney is now the biggest laughingstock in the Democratic race. There's a lot of them too, by the way. He's leading a clown car. He's the head clown in a clown car in that primary because they're still playing. But at least the corporate back candidates, at least they realize, hey, the superdelegates got our back and stuff like that. John Delaney is parroting their horrible corporatist message, but he's even worse because everybody hates him. He doesn't have a shot in hell. Just drop out. I mean, they got the centrist, corporatist, neoliberal apologist thing covered, John Delaney. They got that covered. The superdelegates are already waiting to cheat for them. They don't need you. John Hickenlooper realized that today. John Hickenlooper realized that. There's enough. They got enough ways to cheat Bernie. They don't need me. John Hickenlooper realized that. Good for John Hickenlooper. And I wish John Delaney would follow suit. But John Hickenlooper out of the race today.
Get your news on with Ron. Don't you want to know what's going on? We're getting our news on today. Get your news on with Ron. Don't you want to know what's going on? We're getting our news on today. You can tweet me an article at Ron Placone. We'll go through it together and make it our own. Get your news on with Ron.